Hi guys, so I was watching the Epic Goat video like I do sometimes, and I noticed something that I haven't noticed before and I haven't seen pointed out before. So it's this man here that's holding on to the dog. His whole body actually spells the word Donald, and I'm gonna obviously point that out. So just here, the hat makes the D, the face makes the O, the body and the right arm or the left arm makes the N, the other arm makes the L, the legs make the A, and the gun makes another D. So they're definitely talking about Donald Trump, and this video was made in 2012, and it was conceived 6 years before that, so in 2006. None of us even knew Donald Trump would be running for president or have any form of real significance in the world or in general life. But there he is, depicted over and over and over and over and over again in this video. All the other things that have been pointed out, it's just clear to me that this whole thing centers around Donald Trump. And obviously, as well as his body making up his name, he's holding a gun here. And unless you've been sleeping under a rock for the last week or so, you'll know that the whole issue with the gun incident that happened in Florida has sparked a campaign that could actually result in something happening in terms of gun ownership or the laws surrounding the guns in America. Now, in relation to Donald Trump and guns and the theory that I have that he'll possibly get shot, I just want to play a couple of things.
My people are so smart. And you know what else they say about my people? The polls. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. I don't have people speaking in my ear and telling.
Okay, so that's the first thing. That comment about shooting someone on Fifth Avenue, not losing any voters. I've always had the feeling that when he said that, it was kind of an indication that he knows what is to come, and he's part of their plan. If the George Bush character represents Donald Trump in the iPad Goat video, then that person is attached to strings and they're being manipulated. They're in the video, Bush or Donald Trump is waving his hands around and tap dancing around the classroom. It's a distraction, and I don't know anyone who wouldn't disagree that Donald Trump is quite good at causing distractions, whether it's through things he says or things he does. He distracts. The media is always focused on him and the little tiny things he does, from tweeting to the weirdest things, like drinking a bottle of water with two hands. He just dominates the media in that sense, and that is the distraction. And I feel that's what the iPad Goat video with George Bush dancing with the D on his hat, which I think represents Donald Trump, that's the kind of distraction that we're getting. Then there was the video that Snoop Dogg did when Donald Trump kind of just became president. Clearly, that's a more obvious reference to Donald Trump getting shot, but it is something that was put into a music video. And obviously, we know that the Illuminati or the secret societies, the devil and the evilness that's around the music industry and the entertainment industry in general, they have heavy influence in these music videos and with these music artists. So when you see things like that, it could be, if you take it in one way, it's just like, oh, that was Snoop Dogg just expressing his, dislike of Donald Trump. But at the same time, it could be a veiled message to say this is something that's going to happen in the future. And then there was the incident with the motorcade and the driver.
A gun almost ended up in the president's motorcade this morning. Explain what happened here.
Yeah, that's right. A very interesting morning for the press pool that is traveling with the president here in West Palm Beach. It's a small group of reporters that go with the president wherever he goes. And he was going to his golf course here, the Trump International Golf Course, for the first time since he's been here. We know that he wasn't golfing earlier this weekend because aides determined that it would be poor optics in light of the school shooting. But one of the drivers of the press vans, according to the pool reports that are sent to all the reporters, actually had a firearm in his bag that they found when they were doing a sweep, going through all the luggage and bags and equipment that the reporters have. And the driver said it was a personal firearm that he forgot to leave in his car, but he certainly was detained, we were told. And then again, one of the vans carrying the reporters to the golf course, actually hit a Secret Service vehicle this morning. So quite a route for the reporters this morning that were traveling with the president to his golf course, John.
A gun almost ended up in the president's motorcade this morning.
So it's clear that...
So President Trump has his hands full.
They just really want to play. So it's clear that there's a connection with Donald Trump and guns, and it's only increasing at the moment. Now, after the whole incident in Florida, we have a possible challenge with Trump's loyalty to the NRA. Now, he says that he, is close with the NRA and the NRA is close with him, but at the same time, he's considering increasing the age where you can buy a gun from 18 to 21, and also making things like bump stocks illegal. And the NRA is against that, and they've expressed their dislike of the ideas quite clearly twice. Considering that, you've now got First National Bank, so I'm going to go to this story because it's got both of them in there. So now you've got people or organizations withdrawing their association with the NRA in light of all this backlash that has happened since the Florida shooting. First National Bank of Omaha. So companies may be starting to rethink their ties to the National Rifle Association in the wake of last week's massacre at Florida High School, with a major bank and car rental giant announcing Thursday they were dropping partnerships programs with the NRA. First National Bank of Omaha, the nation's largest privately owned bank, said Thursday it will not renew its contract with the NRA for a branded Visa card. Customer feedback has caused us to review our relationship with the NRA, a bank spokesman said in a statement. As a result, First National Bank of Omaha will not renew its contract with the National Rifle Association to issue the NRA Visa card. The bank had a relationship with the NRA for more than a decade, and the card touted a $40 cashback bonus, enough to reimburse a one-year NRA membership. Later on the same day, privately held Enterprise Holdings, Inc., the parent company of Enterprise, Alamo, and National Car Rentals brands, said it will end its partnership with the NRA, which gave NRA member discounts. In tweets, Enterprise Holdings said that the program will end next month. So that's already two companies that have decided to separate from the NRA. And I don't think it's going to stop there. I think what you're going to see is a build-up of other companies joining in on this, I'll call it revolution, that they've got going on now in regards to these gun laws. And I think that may be the reason why Donald Trump gets shot. I mean, it is the NRA, the National Rifle Association, so if anyone's going to have guns and be able to carry something like that out, it could possibly be one of their members. Maybe they think Donald Trump has betrayed them or something, in that sense. So, something may happen as a result of that. Trying to find where I was again. 1 second, please. Okay, yeah. So, it's clear that the vigil is about the next 9/11 attack, the bringing out of the Antichrist, the one world religion, and all of that, but it also involves Donald Trump. Now, I'm just going to remove the lines so that you can kind of see that I haven't added any lines anywhere. I've literally just gone over them. And the word Donald is what I get. So the line marks over here, if I remove them, you can see that underneath them, there's faint white lines here. And I think that represents the number 11. And then obviously over here, we've got the number 3, which is written into the snow there. Excuse me. So I was thinking about 11 and 3 and what that could signify. I think it's possibly a date. I really don't know if it is, but if it is a date, then the possible dates translating from 11/3 are the 11th of March or the 3rd of November. But there's also another way of looking at it. If the 11 is actually a representation of 2, so you've got 2 and 3, and obviously that could be the 2nd of March, or it could be just the number 23. And when I thought of that, I was thinking about the movie, the number 23, and I looked it up, and I was just looking at the picture with all the 23s on his face, and there's some words in there as well. It's like a veiled message, but you know, I can't quite make it all out. I can see loads of 23s, and I can see some words, and I can see help here, and what looks like the help looks like it kind of joins onto what looks like a Y here. But also I was thinking it could be a representation of NY, so the N could come up to here and there. See if I can make it bigger. So the N could come up to here, and then it could also be a Y, so an upside down N and a Y. But I was just thinking about that, so I haven't really, looked into that too much further. But what I did realize is when I was reading the actual description of it, is that it was released on February the 23rd, 2007, which is exactly 11 years ago today. Coincidence? I don't know. This was 11 years ago, so it's possible that it could have been referencing this month, this year, but it may just be that they just released it on February the 23rd because the movie was the number 23. But then you have to consider they could have released it on 23rd of January or March or April or May or any one of the other months, but they chose February. Now, obviously, today is the 23rd, and we have a watch on this day, and we'll see if anything occurs. We really don't know, but there is significance to 23, not just in the iPad Goat video, but obviously in media in general. The other thing I was thinking about when thinking about the numbers that they've got here, the 11 and the 3, which could be a 2 and a 3, it also could be 11 plus 3, which is 14. And then I started thinking about the fact that on the 14th of February this year, 2018, we had the incident in Florida where all those people were shot, 17 people. And those of you who watch my videos will have seen this already, but for people who are new, and this may be your first video you're watching, all of this was done before the 14th. So the actual word that we have here for the hangman, the E, the B, the O, L, T, N, actually when you separate it all out into numbers, so you've got these 4 letters together spelling the word love, and these are the corresponding numbers in association with the alphabet, and then you've got the T, which is the 20th letter, and the N, which is the 14th letter. When you break them down into individual digits and add them together, so the digits from the word love, add them all together and you've got 18. The T is the 20th letter, nothing to add it to, but a 0 doesn't have any value when you're doing these calculations, so you're just left with 2. And then N is the 14th letter. And obviously that gave us backwards 14 February 2018, which we put up here. And that video was posted up before the 14th of February 2018. So the video clearly indicates that date. And when I was thinking, could that have been the 9/11, the second 9/11 they were talking about? It wasn't as big as the first 9/11, but the media coverage has been just as crazy. I think the first 9/11 was, definitely more crazy. But considering the Texas shooting and the Las Vegas shooting didn't have as much coverage as this, didn't have as much energy as this in terms of people feeling motivated to do something about gun laws and the fact that they want to do something about it, whether it's their own intentions or not, whether they're being influenced to feel that way or whether they feel that way themselves. It doesn't matter. The movement has started, and that started from the 14th of February, the day that seems to be indicated in this video, at least according to the hangman. But then, for those of you who have watched my videos before, you know there's more reference to February the 14th. Love and the hearts is obviously a reference to Valentine's Day. The L and the sly little mark that they've got down here, you know, making it a 7 as well as an F. The F that is in the body of the hangman. And even more than that, you've got the fact that 17 people died, and you've got 17 encoded into the hangman here with the, you know, basically death kind of telling you literally 7 people dead. Some form of connection with the pound coin, which I'm still working on, but you got 7s all over the place, which is obviously a reference to the 14th. So if the 14th of February is one of the days that is referenced in this video, which I strongly believe it is, I don't think there's any argument in that sense. We're kind of looking at the start then. So it's already started. And I just feel like the next things to come may not be on the dates that we're looking at, but the clear depictions to tsunamis and EMPs with the lights going out in the building, and nuclear war with the huge mushroom cloud and everything else that's in this video, it has to start somewhere. And if you think about the escalation of events since the Valentine's Day massacre, it's all been in reference to guns, and Donald Trump excuse me, is highly connected to guns, as we can see with nearly every news report that has coming out since then. It's all been an association with Donald Trump, and what's he going to do, and is he going to curtail to the NRA? And, you know, he seems to be veering off path a little bit in terms of what the NRA want him to do, and companies are now, you know, separating themselves from the NRA, and the NRA, I don't know how they will react to all of that, but, you know, if something happens to Donald Trump in terms of a shooting, I think that would give them more fuel in terms of saying that's why we, you know, need the Second Amendment, that's why we need our guns for protection, and the whole thing will just, you know, blow up like a mushroom cloud and just, you know, get really out of control. And all of this is coming up obviously towards the end of the Olympics, which is on the 25th of February. There's only 2 days left of it, and Ivanka Trump is over there at the moment, and there's a lot of speculation in terms of the iPad Goat video, who the blonde girl is that sits there in the white dress. And obviously it could just be a representation of a number of different things, but Ivanka Trump is one of the theories that have been put out there. I have no idea if she has anything to do with this, but I just wanted to let you guys know that that is one of the interpretations that is out there on YouTube at the moment. So that's pretty much my video. The main thing I wanted to point out is the man here spelling the word Donald, and obviously the man having a gun, and all the association with Donald Trump and guns at the moment just reinforces my theory that I think Donald Trump's going to get shot. I know it's not a popular idea. I don't personally want him to get shot myself, but I'm just saying what I see. That's pretty much it. And obviously, I'm going to keep the 11 and the 3 in mind in terms of the 11th of March or the 3rd of November or the 2nd of March, or just the number 23 in general, which is, you know, a day like today, the 23rd. or if it represents 11 plus 1, which is 14, where we had the massacre on the 14th of February. There's a number of translations, there's myriads of interpretations, and it's difficult to pin down which one exactly is, going to happen. But I think as a group, we did a good job of getting to the 14th of February. Even if we got there just before the 14th of February, we did get there. Unfortunately, we wasn't able to narrow it down enough in terms of where it's going to happen. I thought it was going to be in New York, it happened in Florida. Who it was going to happen to, I thought it was going to happen to Donald Trump. It happened to 17 people in a school. So there's a lot more work that we need to do, because this video has entered the timeline now. We are in the year of the dog, the Wushu year. The yin-yang has switched from yin to yang. We have passed the goat and dog sacrifice by the Lupercali on the 15th. We're in the time of the Olympics. So if this video is referencing this time and this timeline, then maybe something's going to happen today, maybe not. If nothing happens today, there is, personally, I'm keeping watch until the 25th, because I just have a feeling that we need to keep watch until the end of the Olympics in terms of February. And if nothing happens today and nothing happens by or on the 25th, then I'm going to be taking a rest for 3 days until the end of February, and then, come back in March. I don't see, personally, any interpretations where this starts after April. So up until April is basically the watch period that I'm kind of looking at. And but for now, the main thing is just to keep watch on each day, keep an eye on the media and the news. Don't consume it mindlessly, but know that they do throw indications into there in terms of their future plans and stuff like that. Words that they use over and over again, numbers that they use over and over again, they have strong indication to things that may happen in the future. And I've said it before, and I'll just say it again: if you don't believe in this kind of stuff, I don't blame you, because it's literally, if I take a step back sometimes, I think, wow, this is a lot. This is kind of crazy sometimes. But when I think about 9/11, and I think about all the videos and all the subliminal messages that were shown prior to 9/11, I think, wow, there was a lot. There was a lot of indications to 9/11. They're not just two numbers that you throw together, but they were referenced in multiple media, across movies, across films, across TV, magazines, music, all of it. So after that, I think myself and a number of other people decided that it wasn't the way that we wanted to live. We didn't want to blindly walk through life and just let these things happen. If there's a way that we can get in front of the situation and try and warn people about it, then that's what we're going to do, and that's what we have been doing. So you guys, that's the end of my video. Keep an eye on Donald Trump and this whole gun issue, this whole gun revolution that they've got going on with these children. And obviously that clicks in my mind as well, because there is a lot of reference to children in this video. Even one of the children, the black child, the African, being given a gun as like a present. So we'll just keep watch and see what happens. You guys have a good morning, afternoon, evening, and God bless.